numbers are not difficult to get, except that the disclosure of the candidate as directed by the Supreme Court does not give the full picture. It's possible that there are many people who are not really criminals in the traditional sense of the term, but yet have some criminal charges pending against them. It's also possible that there are many candidates who are actually hardened criminals, who are not listed because there are no charges pending against them. So I don't take the disclosures very seriously in terms of giving us the magnitude of the problem. My own sense is about 1/6 of the legislators elected in the country, 1 out of 6, state and national, they have some kind of a criminal record against them. And in some states, Bihar, UP, Andhra Pradesh, AP is no exception, there are some really hardened criminals in politics getting elected both at the national level and the state level. But the real issue, the concerns that you mentioned, are more than the numbers in legislature. It's not a technical issue. Criminalization is like pain. I'm a physician by training. So criminalization is a symptom. It's like your pain or swelling or something else that the body politic feels, just like a human body feels in terms of a disease. This is what you feel and you immediately react to because it's something that you cannot ignore. But the problem is deep-rooted. This is only a symptom. The deep-rooted problem is the political malaise affecting our country. And if there's cancer inside, the manifestation may be your swelling and pain, but no sensible doctor merely gives you some aspirin or something else for the swelling and pain. The doctor looks at the problem in the body and tries to find a sensible cure. So our approach also, I think, should be like that. Let me raise 4 questions. I know there's a lot of debate in the media about criminalization because that's the most exciting topic. And like motherhood and apple pie and patriotism, who in the country would say I am against the country? Even Dawood Ibrahim, living in Karachi somewhere, now maybe in Dubai, I don't know where. Even he is supposed to shed tears whenever people talk of Mumbai because this is a city where he grew up and he tried to destroy the city. So nobody claims that he is not a patriot. But that doesn't really help us. We have to go beyond that. So 4 questions I would like to raise so that we start thinking beyond criminals in politics as a manifestation of what is wrong. First is, why are criminals not treated as rogues by society? Why are they becoming heroes? Why is Arun Gawli elected in Mumbai city, a very liberal city, a very distinguished city, with a tremendous democratic temperament, with a very vibrant media and very strong civil society, the best in the country. And this man did not even have a party backing, and he won as an independent. Or take Pappu Yadav. Earlier from Madhepura, for instance, in 1999, the parliament election, even Lalu Yadav lost the election to Sharad Yadav. From such a constituency with a 250,000 margin, this man wins. So why are people treating these criminals not as the crooks that they should be treated as, but as something heroic? I would say there is a market demand for criminals in society. If actually there are no criminals, then we'll manufacture them in order to meet our needs. You can't get any kind of justice in our society today, where you have a land problem, some other property dispute, or some other issue of injustice. Nothing seems to happen without some kind of use of force or threat of use of force. And that's the reason why crime is coming up. It's not coming out of a vacuum. There is a reason. The second question is, why do they then want to enter into politics? If already crime is giving them money and some respect in society, the moment they enter politics, you and I make them objects of public discussion. And we're embarrassing them. So why are they really taking that risk? It's not in their interest. Again, there's an objective reason. The police are supposed to catch the criminals. They're supposed to go after them. But the moment the criminals enter politics, the same policemen, they salute them. They have no choice. As long as crime investigation is completely under political control, criminals would like to enter politics in order to control crime investigation. So there's a logic to it. And that's the reason why in Dr. Gill's famous expression, the lawbreakers are making lawmakers. That is the way to make the defender and protector of law, the policeman, your servant. The third is, why is the politician allowing them to come in? After all, there are many politicians, whatever be their faults, they are men and women of great seriousness, of purpose. This party, that party, whether it's Sharad Pawar or Bal Thackeray or many other people, Vilas Deshmukh, the names are not important. These are serious people interested in public life, politics and governance. So why do they allow criminals to come in? Or you take Prime Minister Manmohan Singh or Sonia Gandhi or Vajpayee ji or Advani. Why do they allow criminals to come in? Because in our system of election, the people who have three attributes, the money power that crime brings in, almost always criminals are also seen as the caste leaders. Criminals are rarely seen as criminals, they are also caste leaders, and therefore the caste clout they bring in. And the muscle power, which gives the aura of victory and also manufactures the verdict where necessary. These three together form an irresistible combination. And therefore they are coming into politics. And the political parties, knowing full well that it's not in their interest, they are compelled to accept them. Now, Congress and Lok Jan Shakti rebelled against RJD in Bihar, saying that there is misrule, which everybody admits. And yet, that combined, and Lok Jan Shakti in particular, had to accept a lot of criminals. Now, there's no point blaming Ram Vilas Paswan. If he wants to have a realistic chance in many constituencies, he has to bring them in. That is the electoral system's part. And the fourth is, why are people electing them? Why are people in Mumbai city electing Arun Gavli? Because people have lost faith that if Sanjay Bapat is their legislator, things will be done. If Dr. Manmohan Singh becomes the MP and he picks up the telephone and says, "Bhai, agar kuch kar sake to jara kar lijiyega," nobody listens, nothing happens. Where Arun Gavli picks up the phone, or Pappu Yadav picks up the phone, or Shahabuddin or somebody else, then they have to respond because there is that implied force of, implied fear of the threat of force. And that means the system has become so wooden and moribund that only fear of violence is now making even the bureaucratic system move. So if you don't address each of these four elements, if you merely see this as black and white, these criminals are bad and therefore we must do something about it, or we find some technical solutions like putting all of them behind bars, it doesn't really work. There are deeper institutional causes. But some of us are compelled to use this symptom, the external manifestation, as an issue to raise because that's what people understand immediately. But if we stop at that, then I think we are doing a great disservice to the society. We have to make people realize what exactly is wrong and how to set things right. Let us first look at the NGO scenario in the country, the civil society scenario in the country. I am not talking of those large number of organizations that are merely fund-driven and trying to do something, sometimes ineffectually, but I am talking of serious civil society organizations. There are three kinds. One is there are outstanding local experiments on a pilot basis, which have shown very valuable methods of doing things better, for instance, healthcare, water conservation, education, child labor protection, or urban amenities, serving the poor in the local communities, particularly in the ghettos and the slums, etc. Some outstanding work. Maharashtra is a great example of that. Look at Dr. Arole in Jamkhed in Maharashtra. And look at, of course, Anna Hazare, his famous work. Now they are trying to replicate in several districts all over the country, in the state. So there are many, many outstanding experiments. But the tragedy of India is replication of this on an institutional basis in a sustainable manner has not been our strong point. In fact, the only replicable model in India which worked on a pan-Indian level is a model, Korean's model. And that's why for many people in India, that includes me, Varghese Kurian is a great hero of contemporary India. But India requires more than some nice, wonderful work, in Talegaon Siddhi or Jamkhed or someplace. India requires the distilled wisdom of these experiments, these pilots, to be carried on an institutional basis across the country and replication of them across the country. And that is the second one. We must go to the second level because we have done enough pilots. Not that there is end of innovation, but what little innovation or what innovation is there already has given us enough lessons to make a significant difference to the country. But that difference is not felt except in small localities because we have not known how to replicate. The third level is ultimately what is human life about? It's about dignity to all citizens. That's what all of us want in civil society, in government, in politics, in business. Dignity defined as freedom from hunger, freedom from poverty, from public defecation, child labor, all forms of indignity that people suffer. We require justice. Justice not in an esoteric sense, but justice as settling disputes and saying that for violation of rights there is a fair reparation. and for a crime committed there is just retribution. So that is the minimum required for a society to function.